There are several ways to start a new assembly in SOLIDWORKS. Right now, I have the bracket part file open that I designed earlier. To create an assembly from this part, I can either go to the File drop-down menu and select New to bring up the new SOLIDWORKS document window, choose Assembly, and simply click OK. But to show you another way, I'll go ahead and click Cancel. I can also click on the File New icon to bring up the same dialog and choose Assembly, or from the File drop-down menu, I can choose to make an assembly from this part. And I have the option of choosing this option when I expand the File New options as well. All four of the options will bring us to the blank assembly file like you see here. On the left, you can see the Begin Assembly property manager that appears. Here, I have an option to either insert a component or create a layout sketch. Creating a layout sketch would be useful for top-down design when you want to design components in the context of the assembly. However, as I mentioned earlier, I'll be using bottom-up design. So instead of starting with a layout sketch or blocks, I'll instead choose a component to insert. Here in this list, you can see all the different part files that I have open in SOLIDWORKS. I can also use the Browse button to browse for a part file on my hard drive or on a server location. For this lesson, I'd like to use the bracket component. If I expand the thumbnail preview, you can see a preview of the bracket component to make sure that I'm starting with the correct component, and I also have the option to show a graphical preview. I'll check this option, and when I drag my cursor into the graphics area, you can see the part appears in the assembly. I can click anywhere to simply place the part, but there are a few things to consider before doing so. Let me use the Hide and Show drop-down menu to show the origins. Notice that there is a separate assembly origin and part origin here. Now, if I clicked here and place this component at this exact location, the part origin in the assembly origin would be different. In some cases, you may want this to happen, but most of the time, I find that when starting an assembly, aligning the origin of the first component that you place with the assembly origin is beneficial. That way, the reference planes of the assembly are aligned with the reference planes of the part, which helps you predict and determine the center of mass and orientation. If I hover my cursor over the assembly origin, notice that the part snaps into place. I can click here, and the part would be placed with the origin of the part perfectly aligned with the assembly origin. Another way to have the origins aligned automatically is to simply click the green check. This is my favorite method because you can see that the origin of the part and the origin of the assembly are in the exact same place. Once the component is added, you can see in the assembly tree that the part file was added along with the default reference planes for the assembly and the assembly origin.